Start 1, 2, 3. Myself, G. Mahesh Kumar, Assistant Professor of Chemistry. Today's topic in environmental sustainability is hazardous waste management and handling rules 2008. Hazardous waste management and handling rules 2008 is today's we are going to discuss this topic. Under this hazardous waste management and handling rules, the topics which we are going to cover is introduction to the hazardous waste management in India, hazardous waste management and handling rules 2008. Okay, these are the three topics we are going to discuss today. One is introduction to the hazardous waste management in the India, and hazardous waste management and handling rules 2008 are the topics to be covered today in today's class. Coming to the introduction to the hazardous waste. Here, the hazardous waste belongs to the category of special waste containing certain chemicals. Okay, what is a hazardous waste? It containing certain chemicals, metals, pathogenic organisms, which can cause damage to environment even at low concentration. Okay, these are the special category that containing chemicals, metals, and pathogenic organisms. Pathogenic means dangerous organisms, which can cause damage to environment even at low concentration. Okay, this can cause damage to the environment even at low concentration if not properly managed for special separate safe disposal. If you not manage properly for the safe disposal, what happens means it leads to the dangerous to the environment at a low concentration. So it has have frightening environmental problems. Indiscriminate disposal of this waste into the environment without proper treatment could lead to the pollution to river water. It leads to the uh, pollution to the pollution to the river water, land, and groundwater resources. Groundwater resources. If you not properly maintained or not safe disposal of this hazardous waste leads to the pollution to both river water, land, and also for the uh, groundwater resources. Precautionary measures are required for handling of hazardous waste generated within the country. Okay, there should be some precautions are required for this handling of this hazardous waste. What are the okay within the country from different sources as well as through import other countries for the recovery of useful materials through the recovery of useful materials. Now, recognizing the need for the proper management and handling of hazardous waste, the regulations in this regard under the Government Protection Act 1986, as notified by Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India 1989. Okay, there is a proper management of this hazardous waste. Regulations has been came into the for the protection for the precautionary measures to be taken for the hazardous waste. There is an act that Environmental Protection Act 19 EPA 1986 has been notified by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India 1989. At the international level, what the concern for the restricting the transboundary momentum of hazardous waste is reflected in Basel Convention and subsequent follow-up activities. Okay, at the international level, concern for restricting transboundary momentum of hazardous waste is reflected in Basel Convention 1989 and subsequent follow-up activities. Okay, for this Environmental Protection Act 1986 has been came into force and the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India, 1989. Okay, what are the hazardous waste management in India? Okay, uh, till now we have discussed about the introduction to hazardous waste. Now, what actually the hazard, how we are going to manage in India? In recent years, some important steps has been initiated for the hazardous waste management. Okay, what are the steps it has been initiated for the hazardous waste management? It includes it relates to the harmonization of domestic legislation with decision of Basel Convention, harmonization of domestic legislation with the decision of Basel Convention, program program for setting up of hazardous waste management and disposal facilities in industrial estates, setting up of a national center for cleaner technology. Okay, setting up of national center for cleaner technology, production within its subcenters in different states, coordination with the customs and port authorities to ensure strict control over the momentum of hazardous waste across international borders and prevention of illegal uh, trafficking, illegal coordination between the customs and port authorities, strengthening the capability of central and state pollution control board for regulation, management, and handling of hazardous. Okay, there should be strengthen the capability of state government as well as the central government for the board of regulation, management, and handling of hazardous waste. Setting up of a sub-regional training center at New Delhi. Setting up of a sub-regional training center at where at New Delhi. Where they taken. What is the Basel Convention? Okay, Basel Convention is the broadest and the most significant international treaty on transboundary momentum of hazardous waste presently in effect. What is Basel Convention? Basel Convention is the broadest and the most significant treaty on the transboundary momentum of hazardous waste presently, which is in effect. The impact of hazardous waste on the environment has large repercussions, particularly on the quality of water, land effective, and also the regulations of management, disposal of hazardous waste requires cooperation at the global level. Cooperation at the global level. The Basel Convention is the first and the foremost global uh, legal instrument regulating the transboundary momentum of hazardous waste and their disposal. What actually this diplomatic conference in Basel in 1989. Okay, the Basel Convention is adopted by the diplomatic conference, was developed under the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. UNEP is nothing but the full form of UNEP is United Nation United Nations Environment United Nation Environment Program entered into force in 1997. The Basel Convention has 11 111 states and the European Community in parties. The rapidly increasing number of parties reflect the growing awareness and the interest of states in the import sector of environment and health protection. Okay, there is a they adopted the United Nations Environment Program and entered into the force in May 1997. The Basel Convention has 111 states and the European Community in the parties. European Community in the parties. What are the key objectives of this Basel Convention? Key objectives of Basel Convention is to reduce the transboundary momentum of hazardous waste and other wastes subject to the Basel Convention. Okay, what is the main objective of this is to reduce the transboundary, to dispose of hazardous waste, to minimize the generation of hazardous waste, to ensure the strict control over the momentum of hazardous waste, to prohibit the shipment of hazardous waste to countries lacking the illegal administrative and technical capacity to manage and dispose them in an environmentally sound manner, to assist the developing countries and countries with economics in transition environmentally sound management of hazardous waste by the where they generate. Okay, to reduce the transboundary momentum of hazardous waste and the other waste is subject to the Basel Convention to minimum consistent with their environmental sound management to dispose hazardous waste and other wastes generated as close as possible to source of generation to minimize the generation of hazardous waste in terms of quality and hazardous potential to ensure the strict control over momentum of hazardous waste across the borders and prevention of illegal traffic to prohibit the shipments of hazardous waste to countries lacking the illegal administrative and technical capacity to manage uh, and dispose them in environmentally sound manner and to assist the developing countries and countries with economics in transition in environmentally sound management of hazardous waste they generate. Okay, the basic approach in the hazardous waste management. Okay, what are the basic approaches of hazardous? The government of India has promulgated the hazardous management and handling rules in 1989 through the Ministry of Environment and Forest (MOEF), Ministry of Environment and Forest, under the aegis of Environmental Protection Act (EPA), that is something but Environmental Protection Act 1986. The government of India has promulgated the hazardous waste. Okay, uh, under this uh, 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 hazardous waste are divided into 18 categories. Okay, how many categories? It has been divided into 18 categories. Moreover, the role and responsibility of the waste generator, state central pollution control board and state government is clearly defined. However, our selection site for the effective functioning of TSDF is a key aspect and depend upon several factors such as waste characteristics, site characteristics, public acceptance, prevailing laws and regulations. Prevailing laws and regulations. The facility siting should also incorporate the protection of human health, environment, and property values in the community. Through the selection of illegal ideal site conforming with above factors is a difficult task. Okay, few guidelines are available. Guidelines 1991 India for selection of best site for same purpose. In India, unauthorized dumping of human hazardous waste. Okay, unauthorized uh, dumping of hazardous waste is, however, continuing in the most of the places, and hazardous waste is being utilized to fill the low-lying areas, which is not acceptable. Which is not acceptable. Okay, categories of hazardous waste. Okay, what are the categories? Waste type and regulatory quantities. Cyanide waste. One is cyanide waste, metal finishing waste, waste containing water-soluble chemicals, and the mercury, arsenic, thallium, and cadmium bearing waste, non-halogenated hydrocarbons including solvents, halogenated hydrocarbons including solvents, non-halogenated and halogenated hydrocarbons including category 1. Category has been categorized into type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 waste type and the regulatory quantities. Cyanide waste comes under the category 1, 1 kg per year as a cyanide. 1 kg per year as a cyanide. In the category 2, metal finishing waste, 10 kg per year. The sum of specified calculated as a pure metal. Waste containing soluble, water soluble chemical compounds of lead, copper, zinc, chromium, nickel, selenium, barium, and antimony. 10 kg per year, sum of the specified substances calculated as a pure metal. Mercury, arsenic, thallium, cadmium bearing waste, 5 kg per year of specified substance calculated as a pure metal. Non-halogenated hydrocarbon including solvents, 200 kg per year calculated as a non-halogenated hydrocarbons. Halogenated hydrocarbons including solvents, 50 kg per year calculated as a halogenated hydrocarbons. These are the categories of hazardous waste. Next, category 7, the waste from paints, pigments, glue, varnish, and printing ink. 250 kg per year calculated as a oil or oil emulsions. Waste from dyes and dye intermediates containing the inorganic chemical compounds. 200 kg per year calculated in inorganic chemicals. Waste from dyes, dye intermediates containing the organic chemical compounds. Here it is 50 kg per year calculated as a organic chemicals. Waste oils and waste oil emulsions. 100 kgs per year calculated as a oil and oil emulsions. Tarry waste from refining and tar residues from uh, distillation or pyrolytic treatment, 200 per kg per year as a calculated as a bar. Next category 7, 8 of specification and discarded products, irrespective of any quantity, discarded containers and containers liners of hazardous and toxic waste, irrespective of any quantity. Essential elements of hazardous waste management, central hazardous waste management are identification of hazardous waste generation, data collection, waste characterization, quantization of quantification of hazardous waste, identification of site for disposal, conducting EIA environmental impact assessment, implementing the DF program. Okay, what are the essential elements of central hazardous waste management are uh, identification of hazardous waste generation, next followed by the data collection, waste characterization, quantification of hazardous waste, identification of site for disposal, conducting environmental impact assessment, implementing the TSDF program. TSDS, first identification of hazardous waste generation. Okay, identification of hazardous waste generation, next followed by data collection, waste characterization, quantification of hazardous waste, identification of site for disposal, identification of conducting the EIA, environmental impact assessment, implementing the TSDF program. Next, what are the hazardous waste and management and handling rules. Now, coming to the how we are going to identification of hazardous. Identifying the hazardous waste generating industries is the first step. Okay, hazardous waste are classified under 18 categories. This information may users screen the waste generated and classifying as a hazardous. However, there are few observations that there are probability of occurrence of waste is more than one category. The set classification system does not give information to understand the toxic characteristics of hazardous waste. Toxic characteristics of hazardous. The data available with the State Industrial Corporation (IDC), District Industries Center, State Pollution Control Board, etc., may be utilized to identify the industries with potential for hazardous waste generation. Industries for potential hazardous waste generation. Next, followed by data collection. After identifying the hazardous waste generating sources, an inventory of data pertaining to hazardous waste generation can be developed by conducting surveys through special prepaid questionnaire to each of the identified sources. Each of the category of waste has been identified, and for the each category, data has been collected. This should be followed by field visits for data verification. It is essential that data is obtained from above option is verified from secondary data, either published data or available for another industry producing similar products. How data hazardous waste generation rates estimated from plant capacity in Indian industries are available in literature. This will be help in identifying any misappropriate data in correcting the database. Next, followed by the waste characterization, hazardous waste that is generated from the study region should be characterized. For this purpose, it is advisable that samples may be collected from the waste generation source and analyzed into the laboratory. Literature data may be used in the absence of primary data. Detailed information on hazardous waste calculation pertaining to physical, chemical, and general characteristics and properties pertaining to the ignible corrosivity, reactivity, toxicity is to be referred to. Quantification of hazardous waste. Here, hazardous waste are quantified based on their individual characteristics. Several options and compatibility of waste with different characteristics should be studied and segregated. The quantity of hazardous waste to be expressed in terms of each category for disposal. For example, recyclable, incinerable, disposable, etc. The waste that are recyclable are uses waste oil, leads, lead wastes, and zinc wastes. After quantifying the hazardous waste, assessing the probable area requirements for the treatment, storage, and disposal of sites are to be identified. For this purpose, topo sheets and the remote sensing images of the study region may be used. To be physically verified and to draw observations pertaining to four different types of attributes: receptor related, pathway related, waste characteristics related, and the waste management practices related, available for the ranking the sites. Identification sites for disposal. Site with minimum score out or available for site for ranking should be chosen as a site for establishing TSDF. Physical models are available in literature. They give accurate results in then appropriate methods and guidelines for 1991 ranking the sites for TSDF. Conducting EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment, should be conducted in the site identified in the above step. Impacts from the project should be identified. Public acceptance should be obtained by clearing the site for TSDF. Of of available options for the impact prediction, matrix method gives a better approximation of results as it focuses on condition effect relationship of attributes involved in the activity. Implementing TSDF program. Final designated site. The site should be contain adequate provisions for storage treatment. Layouts for collecting the hazardous waste for waste generation sources should be planned. The site should be laboratory facilities to monitor the function of TSDF from the time to time. Landfills are final disposal in TSDF. The leachate that percolated should be treated in effluent treatment plants, ETP, effluent treatment plant before disposal. Monitoring of ambient environmental qualities and TSDF performance should be done regularly during the most closure period of landfill 30 years. Here, hazardous material management and handling and transport momentum rules 2008. The rules came into force in 2008 under the Environmental Protection Act 1986. Earlier, it was 1989. Hazardous waste management and handling rules were made under the Act, but these rules were superseded by rules passed in 2008. According to these hazardous waste management handling rules 2008, hazardous waste means any waste which, by the reason of any of its physical, chemical, reactive, toxic, flammable, explosive, or corrosive characteristics causes danger or likely to cause danger to health or environment, whether alone or when in contact with other waste or substances. It shall be responsibility of occupier, person controlling the factory unit producing the hazardous waste to handle such waste in a safe and environmental sound manner. Sell and send it into a recycler or reprocessor, reuser as per the rules and rate, store or dispose of such waste as per the rules. How you are going to storage? The hazardous waste can be stored by recyclers or operators for a period of not exceeding 90 days, and the proper records to be maintained. Proper records to be maintained. Import and export of transport and momentum of hazardous waste. The Ministry of Environment and Forest will be nodal ministry to deal with the transport and momentum of hazardous waste. No import of hazardous waste from any country uh, to India shall be permitted for disposal. Import from other countries shall be permitted only for recycling, recovery, reuse. Export from the country shall be allowed to actual users of the waste with prior consent for importing the country. Procedure for export and import of hazardous waste outlined in the rules. Certain hazardous wastes are listed in the schedule 6 of these rules, which are not permitted for import and export. Treatment, storage, and disposal facility. The sites are such for such a facility is identified by government, state government, or prior occupier operator. The design of such facility is strictly as per the guidelines issued by CPCB. Central Pollution Control Board is monitored by CPCB. Packing, labeling, and transport. Hazardous waste should be packed, labeled based on the composition in a manner suitable for the safe handling, storage, and transport as per the guidelines issued by CPCB. Labeling and packaging shall be visible and stable. Schedule 1 of these rules includes various processing generating hazardous waste. Some of the important processes are petrochemical processes, oil, gas drilling, petroleum refining, primary and secondary production of zinc, copper, lead, production of cadmium, aluminium, arsenic, phenols, asbestos, uh, mineral acid, iron, steel, metal surface treatment, production of caustic soda, solvents, paints, plastic, glue, cement, canvas, textile, wood, preservatives, pharmaceuticals, pesticides, paper, pulp, industry common effluent treatment plants, and incinerators. Schedule 2 provides a list of hazardous chemicals along with their concentration limits as follows. 50 milli class A, B, C, they has been classified into A, B, C, D, E. Concentration limits and some examples. 50 milligrams per kg chromium 6, Hg, naphthalene, and benzene. 5,000 milligrams per kg lead, copper, argon, phosphorus compounds. 20,000 milligram per kg ammonia compound, chlorides, acid, nitrites. 50,000 milligram per kg inorganic acids, hydrocarbons, hydrates, nitrites, regardless of concentration. Schedule 3 is based on the base convention on transboundary momentum of hazardous waste. A list of hazardous waste has been included here. Part A and Part B, which can be imported with prior informed consent. Part B is imported without prior informed consent. Schedule 4, list of hazardous waste requiring registration for recycling and reprocessing. Schedule 5 includes maximum permissible limits of various parameters of used soil suitable for reprocessing and the fuel derived from the waste oil. Schedule 6 provides list of hazardous waste provided for import and export. The references we are going to follow for this environmental sustainability is the Robertson Margaret Sustainability Principles and Practices, Routledge, France, 2017. Responsibility for teaching sustainability in context, General of Sustainability Education. Okay, these are the two references. One is Robertson Margaret Sustainability Principle and Practices, Taylor and Francis Group, 2017. Responsibility for teaching sustainability in context, General of Sustainability Education is one of the two principles, references we are going to follow for the environmental sustainability. Okay, these are the thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.